You think you know friend group drama? Okay, but what if that drama involved secret group chats, shady social media unfollows, and a massive public fallout between A-list celebrities? Yeah, we're about to unpack how a Hollywood mom group completely melted down and what it tells us about the crazy, high-stakes world of modern friendship.
And this right here, this is the quote that basically lit the match. Ashley Tisdale put into words something that so many people, especially new parents, have felt. You know, these groups are supposed to be your lifeline, right? Your support system. But as she points out, it's the little things, the gossip, the side chats, that can turn that support into something that just feels, well, toxic.
Well, that's when a personal essay suddenly becomes a massive public spectacle. The piece itself never actually named names, but the internet connected the dots almost instantly, and it kicked off a war of words that played out entirely on social media for everyone to see. Okay, let's dive into this.
All right, first up, let's break down Ashley's side of the story. What exactly did she claim was happening inside this star-studded circle of friends that made her walk away? So, according to her essay, it was a classic case of feeling pushed to the sidelines. She talks about that very specific, very modern kind of pain of finding out about secret group chats you're not in, or noticing cliques starting to form. And then, that sting of scrolling through Instagram and seeing pictures from hangouts you definitely weren't invited to. She said it all just felt too high school, and that she constantly felt drained, so she decided to leave.
And this is the move that turned all the speculation into actual headlines. See, before the article even dropped, she'd been posting these kind of vague TikToks about leaving a toxic mom group. But unfollowing Hilary Duff and Mandy Moore, whoa, that was a clear signal. This wasn't just some generic story anymore. This was about them.
Okay, so that's Ashley's side. Now let's look at the other side. The other moms in the group, they didn't exactly release a formal statement, oh no. Their actions online spoke volumes, and they escalated things fast.
And what's really wild is just how quickly this all blew up. I mean, look at this timeline. We're talking less than 72 hours. Ashley's essay goes public, and bam, within hours the clapbacks start rolling in. A TikTok here, a parody there, a public show of support. It just shows how fast a private conflict can become a public free-for-all.
First up to bat was Meghan Trainor. She posted this TikTok, trying to seem like she was brushing the whole thing off. But for a lot of people online, this totally backfired. They argued that this whole dismissive, I don't care attitude was exactly the kind of high school behavior Ashley was talking about in the first place. And then came the real escalation. Hilary Duff's husband, Matthew Coma, posted a full-on parody of Ashley's photo shoot for the article, and he included this incredibly personal and just scathing mock headline. This was a direct, aggressive shot that made it clear this feud was getting nasty. And just in case there was any doubt about where Mandy Moore stood on all this, she made it perfectly clear. She publicly reposted praise for Matthew Coma's post, calling him this super talented and generous person. For a lot of people watching, this was the final nail on the coffin. It was a very public declaration of loyalty that stood in stark contrast to Ashley's feeling of being pushed out. It's honestly hard to believe this all went down between people who, not that long ago, seemed like they were the absolute closest of friends. To really understand how deep this fracture is, we kind of have to look back at how things used to be.
I mean, check this out. This is from 2022. It's Ashley herself posting this super glowing caption from a group trip. She's calling them an amazing group of women and talking about how grateful she is for them. It's just a world away from where things are today.
And this little detail from that same trip really says it all. Hilary Duff posted a group photo and made a point to tag Mandy Moore, who wasn't there, with the caption, "We missed you." On the surface, it's sweet, but it also kind of proves Ashley's point, right? It shows there was this very public awareness of who was in the group and who was out. So why did it all fall apart so spectacularly? Well, the internet, as it does, has a few theories. Let's dig into the two main stories that started bubbling up from all the fallout. The first theory that caught fire was that the split was political. Rumors were swirling that Ashley had different political views that created a rift in the generally liberal Hollywood group. But her representative shut that down pretty quickly, making it clear she's a registered Democrat who has supported Democratic candidates. Now, this political theory got even more traction because of some pre-existing Hollywood lore. It's a well-known rumor that Hilary Duff and her sister, Haley, have their own long-standing feud that's also supposedly about politics. So when Haley liked Ashley's original post, well, online detectives saw that as a huge, shady move, like a sister siding against her own family in a fight that looked very familiar.
Okay, the second major theory flips the script and puts the focus squarely back on Ashley. People started pointing to what they saw as a potential pattern of public friendship breakups, especially with her High School Musical co-star Vanessa Hudgens. The fact that Ashley stayed close with Vanessa's exes like Austin Butler and Zac Efron made some people start to question her side of this news story.
So after all the posts, all the parodies, and all the theories, what are we left with? It really comes down to two very different ways of looking at the exact same situation.
So you have these two competing narratives. On one side, you have Ashley's story. She was the victim of a classic mean girl clique, and she bravely walked away to protect her peace. But on the other side, you have the group's unspoken story, that this was all a defensive reaction to a friend who has a history of public fallouts, and that airing private drama in an essay was the real high school move. And the crucial point is, in these messy situations, both sides can feel completely justified.
And it really leaves us with a bigger question, doesn't it? In a world where every single like and unfollow is a public statement, it's just a messy reminder that even for A-list stars, friendship is complicated. And when it all falls apart like this, is there ever really just one person to blame?